So he said, I don't believe. Well, based on what? You know, because it's not in your books, in your sources. You don't expect it to be in your sources. And tell me the Aborigines didn't exist because, you know, in the 16th century there was nothing about them and about their history, who is their leader, or is that right? So if you don't know them, they're not there, huh? It's like when you discovered America, right? If you didn't know it was there, it was not discovered. Even though there were folks living there. Alright. Anyways. Shall we have some fun or shall we...
Have some fun.
Yes, sir?
Some of the brothers, when you're talking to them, right? I don't want to mention what like firqa do they belong to.
Yeah, just mention their name.
But they start quoting a hadith, which I know from people like yourself and other ulama, is that they are not sort of like, they're basically not quoting hadith at all. So how do you tackle them at that point then?
That it's not authentic hadith?
Well, they are basically completely fabricated hadith. Or the Ali Anhu or the added bayt or...
Okay, I see. But that's one of our questions, remember? Shia Sunnah? Right? So that's what we talk about, obviously. And you can feel free to mention that, it's not an issue. But it's like, you wouldn't mention a group within the Sunni. You wouldn't tell me, Ikhwan said this or Tabligh, that you would keep aside. But Shia, it's not a problem. You know how, have you heard the history of the sects? Yeah? Oh man, what's going on, people? Sheikh Walid Basuni. Don't play around with Sheikh Walid. Anything Sheikh Walid, you get it, you listen to it. That's how it works. Yeah, anything Sheikh Walid, don't fool around. You guys are aware of that, right? If you're not, you are now. Sheikh Walid Basuni, that's it. Don't get me started with Sheikh Walid. I'm serious. Sheikh Walid, that's it. I'm not kidding. I don't play around with Sheikh Walid Basuni. With all due respect to everybody else, I don't play around with Sheikh Walid. Ever. I remember one time, people don't know who they're messing with. They don't know who they're messing with. These two young kids. Who has more knowledge, Sheikh Walid or Sheikh so-and-so? That guy goes, this is the expert. They're about equal. I said, let me put your two heads together and maybe smack you or something. Something had it with you. You don't know who you're messing with. Sheikh Walid Basuni, people. Don't play around. I'm serious. I don't play around when it comes to Sheikh Walid. In North America, all you gotta do is say Sheikh Walid Basuni. You're not saying, yeah, that's it. You're right. That's it. Don't play around with Sheikh Walid. I don't know if I can stress that enough. So when his course comes, spend the night here. Don't come early. Spend the night here. I'm serious. When his course comes to town, you spend the night here. I'm not kidding, Akhi. You spend the night in this room. Spend the night in the room in the morning, you brush your teeth, whatever. You sit and wait. Okay. I know you think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. Okay. So, where was we? Don't get me started. Oh yeah, so I was saying, you want to have some fun or get started? The brother said fun, alright? So, Ahmed, can I see the questions, Yahya? I know these are your notes, Yahya. Maybe you can give me the, I don't know, it's a staple. Don't tear it out. Okay, let me just ask this question first. Can we get two volunteers to be partners and come down here? Oh, only one. Come on, someone else, one of the older brothers. Huh? It's not going to be that bad. We don't have another microphone, do we? No. But come all the way here. Alright, so you're the da'wah team. Okay?
Inshallah.
So keep this mic like, don't bring it too close, just keep it like between you like that. As long as you don't blow on it. So you're going to tell us, we're going to ask you one of these questions, and then you, as a team, you could answer, right? So this is a non-Muslim asking you, and I think I should have warned you before what I was going to do. But feel free to just answer any way you would like, okay? I'm going to pick a nice one here. Okay, I'll give you a choice. That way, you can choose between Aisha's age, or polygamy, or polygyny, or how do we know which sect in Islam is the true sect? Pick one of these. All right, great. Right, so, and then you guys can feel free to, if you have difficult questions to throw in to their explanations, feel free. Right, so the first thing is, the non-Muslim asks you, why did your Prophet ﷺ marry a young girl? Yeah, why did he marry a young girl? And that's not appropriate.
So why did the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam marry Aisha radiallahu anha at a young age?
Yes.
And so how many years ago? Do you know how many years ago that was?
Yeah, about 1400.
About 1400 years ago. Okay. And what was the today? The average male or female lived to about 70 or 80. Is that correct?
75.
75. Okay, great.
I'm making it up.
And what do you think it was about 1400 years ago?
Can you just answer my question?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Okay,
take your time.
Yeah, they say for a simple question, you give a long answer.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. Okay, keep going.
And for a complex answer, you give a simple answer. Okay. Anyways, so the age span. What do you think it was 1400 years ago?
I have no clue.
It was about females used to live maybe about 40, 50, and people used to have about sometimes 8 to 12 kids, just to keep the life cycle going. So now, do you think a young girl back then looked like a young girl today? The exact same, the backpack going to school, and maybe $1 in hand. Do you think that's how a young girl looked back then?
Probably not. Probably not. But would you marry a 10-year-old today?
First of all, I believe she was 9 years old. Aisha radiallahu anha.
Would you marry a 9-year-old?
Sorry?
Would you marry a 9-year-old today?
Today? No, I would not. Because, like I said, a 9-year-old today is not the same as a 9-year-old back then. Now, if you're against the act of someone marrying if you're saying throughout history no one should marry someone that young, then you're pretty much condemning 60% of humanity. Because I can guarantee you that women from the time that they were 7 used to marry. You can just take a look at history, and prove me wrong that did not occur.
Or would your friend there marry a 10-year-old?
No, in this day and age, I wouldn't marry a 10-year-old.
But do you think it's okay to marry a 10-year-old 1,400 years ago?
Absolutely.
At that time, it was a common practice. And another thing that we need to understand is that the marriage wasn't consummated right as soon as they got married at that young age. It was consummated later. The contract was just done at that time.
Okay. But I'm going to stop you there. Exactly. You know why I stopped you there? Excellent. Exactly. Very good. I actually stopped them there because they were doing a superb job. Shahada. What's your name?
Basil.
Basil and? Salman. But Basil, he started off really, really excellent. I mean, it was really, really good. Superb. Because if you really pay attention, he didn't allow himself to be backed into the corner. There were some people, if they stood here and I just started to ask those simple questions, they would immediately start going backwards. He didn't start answering immediately. He started asking, which was excellent. I mean, he's really saying, who's telling you that the way you're looking at it is the correct way? So he started immediately talking about 1,400 years ago. First he started to say, how long ago was this? Do you know? It's not like a 10-year-old with a backpack who still plays with Barbie dolls. And I mean, people now, subhanAllah, not only do they, okay, so back then, Aisha radiallahu anha also described being physically, larger. People used to mature quickly. I mean, now, people don't mature sometimes at all. And it's, subhanAllah. You know something? When we grew up, our parents were respectable people. Your dad was a respectable guy. And for me, my dad was a very dignified guy. And for me, that was an important part of growing up. And I never grew up with my dad doing dumb things around the house. He never did dumb things around the house. He never jumped around and danced at parties or played video games in front of me. And I always think that if my dad played video games in front of me, I would turn out worse. I'm not going to say turn out horrible, but turn out worse. But now look at new generations. And those of you who are dads who play video games in front of your child, what on earth is that all about? And do all kinds of weird things in front of your kid. It's weird. So, I know I'm not really, but what I'm trying to say is that I wonder I used to go get my hair cut in this place for 2 years. Obviously I haven't been there in 2 years, right? So, these guys, they were grown men and they had children, multiple children, and every time I go get my hair cut, and they talk to each other. And every sentence begins and ends with dude, and it has dude in the middle. And they play video games, and that's all they talk about. They talk about sports or video game. What level are you at, dude? Dude, I'm here. That's all they do. And these are fathers, people, and they're so immature. And I used to wonder, when I first came into the States, I used to wonder at how immature people were. Someone would be in his 20s, and he's so immature. And in Sudan, you'd find a 13-year-old girl, if her mother is traveling or away, she would cook and prepare, food for the entire house, and a real meal, not just like heat up some, toasty frosts or whatever it is. She'd cook up real food. The house will be clean, and she'll do her homework. And if she has younger kids, she'll take care of them. And she's still a young girl. She doesn't lose her childhood and traumatized and all the garbage that they say now. Just a normal thing. Now I'd come here, people in their 20s, immature. I used to listen to this show, that doctor on the radio. I don't know if you have her here, but Dr. Laura, very famous, and people call her with their problems. And I remember it was when I first arrived in the States, I would listen to the radio show, and some guy would call up, "Hi, Dr. Laura. I have a problem." It's okay, this guy must be like 17 or something. And she was saying, "How old are you?" "I'm 45. What's the matter with you? 45? So people don't mature. So now, what Basil was saying, he's saying, look, he started asking, how long ago this was? He started describing the girl with the backpack. It was just excellent. You could have kept doing a great job, both of you, Salman and Basil, but I stopped you because you were doing excellent. The whole point, I wanted to see if you were going to back yourself into a corner or not, And you weren't accepting these questions of, do you think it's okay? And you just start apologizing, and suddenly you magically turn her age into 18. You know how the Muslims are doing that now, right? And in the course of their arguments, they're maligning and attacking the scholars of Islam and saying, he wasn't reliable. Is this how we do it? We even attack our scholars just to bring the age magically to 18? And why just 18? Why just doesn't have to match the famous legal age? It is not really 18 everywhere in the States. I don't know what it is here. 18? We still have some states where it's 14 until today, 16, 17, and the majority are 18. So, who is to say that the way you look at something now is the right way? And this is the problem. People always look at the way they believe and the way they live now. That's the standard. Who made it the standard? Anyways. I'm going to come into that in more detail, but I just wanted to see how, and I think you guys did a superb job, you were not moving backwards and allowing yourself to be painted into a corner. We're going to come into maybe Aisha and do it more in steps. Go ahead.
Just a question, same thing that they did, can you then bring it back to Tawheed by saying, how is that